Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Michael Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, subscribe right down below and follow us on social media on our journey to share awesome books with awesome people. Today, we're going to take a look at an awesome book I finished this morning, which I'm really excited for because now I get to share it with you. Today, we're going to take a look at Civil Rights, Rhetoric or Reality by the one and only Dr. Thomas Sowell. Sowell takes a critical eye at the civil rights movement in America by evaluating its history, its goal, its vision, and the actions taken in its name. So let's take a look at the aesthetics. I have the 1984 paperback edition, which was a nice cream colored with slightly distracting colored text. Plain for the most part, but the three different tones of text are a bit strange for a Sowell work. So as far as the aesthetics, 7 out of 10. Now let's take a look at the readability. Sowell takes a massive amount of history, data, evidence for his case and funnels it in a streamlined manner that allows even the most simple-minded reader, like me, to gain a basic understanding of his point. He's talented at using comparisons and analogy to drive a point home after a long portion of statistics and logical points may have dried you out during the read. So as far as the readability goes, stronger score, 8 out of 10. Now let's take a look at the content. Sowell makes a clear case that the original fight of the civil rights movement was both earnest and successful, gaining equal opportunity for Black Americans along with other races. However, he provides examples that the language and arguments made to create these opportunities left the door open legally for more nefarious means of government and political control to work against the very people the civil rights movement was allegedly supposed to help. Since the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the men and women who were in charge of these massive organizations designed to create political pressure to get these laws passed now had no mission to accomplish. The war was won. The Civil Rights Act was passed. Equal opportunity had been achieved. Equal opportunity had been achieved, not equal outcomes. Leaders in the Black community had to begin searching for more and more far-flung tasks to apply their influence to in order to stay relevant and to keep that money rolling. Like every other movement in history, regardless of how earnest or honest its original intentions were, it became essentially a business for the people on top. They had to keep that money rolling. One example Sowell uses is the allyship between the Black caucuses and labor unions, which created minimum wage laws. This moderately improved segments of the middle-class Black Americans, but the problem was that their situation was already on the rise, especially comparing blacks and whites with comparative education and skills. The people who really needed the help, namely unskilled young Black men, were choked out of the labor force due to no longer being able to compete against more skilled workers by lowering their price and becoming more appealing as a hire for a company. As much as I love paraphrasing the great work of Thomas Sowell, no one can explain it better than he does, so I'd like to say a small quote from his book. This is from chapter 6. So in chapter 6, which is titled Rhetoric or Reality, he says the battle for civil rights was fought and won at great cost many years ago. Like any fundamental human achievement, these rights cannot be taken for granted and must be safeguarded. But civil rights are not protected or enhanced by the growing practice of calling every issue raised by spokesmen for minority, female, elderly, or other groups civil rights issues. The right to vote is a civil right. The right to win is not. Equal treatment does not mean equal results. Everything desirable is not a civil right, nor are the institutions or methods that produced civil rights likely to produce all the other things required to advance minorities, women, and others. Another fantastic segment from that same chapter 6, Thomas Sowell states there is neither evidence nor even the pretense of evidence for the proposition that all groups are prepared to make the same sacrifices to achieve the same ends, quite aside from any question of equal capability, natural or acquired. Yet without that assumption, there is no reason to expect the even representation which is used as a norm to measure discrimination. Thomas Sowell's writing is nothing short of superb in this fantastic book, so as far as the content goes, he gets a perfect score, 10 out of 10. I found this book by chance at Half Price Books, so you'll most likely find old prints like these either online or by sheer accident, or you might have it ordered to you for a local used bookstore like Half Price Books. But I highly recommend it. This is an absolutely phenomenal read, and also unlike a lot of Sowell works, it's a very quick read. It's very condensed. It's about 140 pages, give or take, and there's always a thorough section of notes. That way you know exactly where he's getting his information from. He has a very critical eye and a very meticulous eye for all the little details. So go out and get yourself a copy. The book is called Civil Rights, Rhetoric or Reality by Dr. Thomas Sowell. Get yourself a copy. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go read something. Hey RBC fans, if you want to support the show in our mission to share great works of writing with the world, scan the barcode to make a generous donation, and if you donate $50 or more and leave a book title in our comments, I'll even feature your book choice on our next episode.